Boy, there's a buzz in this city right now. Demidov is in the building. His rookie lap was sensational. But the way they've been playing, they're going to start this line with Anderson, Dvorak, and Gallagher. They want to get to the deep game here early and establish this home ice against the Chicago Blackhawks.
And they get the draw. Green at 21 has Oliver Moore on one side. He's just 20 years old. Nick Foligno, 37. Their captain for Chicago, and the fans into this one already as Dvorak goes back to get the puck. Centering one out for Gallagher. He gets checked. And turning back with it, the captain Foligno goes in behind for Sam Rinzel. Just his 8th NHL game, number 6 on the Hawks. Back in, and he's been terrific.
Yeah, he's out there with Vlasic, the big man. It's really good stick early in this one. A lot of youth on the blue line for the Chicago Blackhawks here. They
began the season as one of the oldest team, and yes, with retirements, they've gotten a lot younger. Gallagher working right in, and that just goes wide of Arvid Soderblom, the netminder for the Chicago Blackhawks. Sam Montembeault at the other end for Montreal as the puck goes back here to Matheson, who backhands it out to center. Bedard out there. There's Slavkovsky, 2 #1 picks, plays one across for Suzuki. Suzuki stopped, tried to go back to the line for Matheson. Matheson able to knock down Mikheyev inside the line, and Chicago tries to regroup. Look at the pressure from Montreal. 3 up on the forecheck. A little bit of room here for Connor Murphy, the veteran on the back end for this young Blackhawks defense. Big hit thrown there by the guy who leads the Montreal Canadiens in hits, Juraj Slavkovsky. Bedard settles one and plays one back for Soderblom, and the first shift in the National Hockey League for Ivan Demidov, wearing number 93.
Yeah, it was pretty distinct when he hit the ice. A lot of anticipation for him. And his career is underway here with the Montreal Canadiens.
And listen to the crowd here at the Bell Center. Demidov. Puck knocked down by Levshunov. The number 2 overall pick, taken 3 picks before Demidov. Levshunov, where's number 55? As that puck is out of play. Arriving in the National Hockey League much earlier than anyone expected. And got knocked down by Louis Crevier, the 6'8" blue liner for the Blackhawks. 240 pounds. In behind the net. Played now for Laine. He goes back for Evans. Puts it in behind, grabbed there by Levshunov. Up the boards for Joe Veleno, Montreal native. Picked off here by Laine. Plays one in for Evans, back for Laine again. Tip of the stick, pulls it back. Laine starting on a 4th line tonight. That gets tipped wide of Soderblom. Carried out to center. Knocked down there by Slaggert, number 84 for the Blackhawks, and Jake Evans. Signed an extension, turns back, a 4-year extension for Evans, goes back into his own zone. Now out into the Blackhawk end, and a shot there tipped wide off the stick of Josh Anderson. Ryan Green, the BU prospect, just arriving after their loss in the NCAA.
Now he can skate, pretty good speed there through the neutral zone to get the Blackhawks down in the Montreal Canadiens end.
Moves into the Western Michigan Broncos. Here's Foligno, turnaround shot went right through the blue. Tip of the puck, Anderson couldn't clear it out. Foligno pressuring there on Matheson, ahead for the Canadiens to the Chicago end, and Bedard with a quick up. Back into the zone for Donato, 31 goals for him on the season, more than doubling his previous career high. Flipped out by Slavkovsky. Puck bouncing down. And Bedard threw one back. Alex Vlasic got it ahead to center ice. In for Mikheyev, across for Donato. Intended feed for Bedard. Got partially knocked down by Suzuki, and turning with it is Caulfield. First Montreal Canadian to hit 37 goals since Max Pacioretty did that back in 2017 for Caulfield. First 30-goal season for him after 3 consecutive 20-goal campaigns. Tyler Bertuzzi sends it in. Knocked back into the slot and tipped away before Frank Nazar could get it. A Mount Clemens, Michigan native who played his college hockey at the University of Michigan. You can tell who's back on the ice again.
Yes, you can. It's incredible to see this.
Demidov wearing number 93, and that shot, oh, and a save there.
It was a Demidov. The anticipation of clinching tonight if they get a win. A lot of excitement in there. You would expect to be a few jitters, and that's what you're seeing on their breakouts right now. Not smooth and not connected.
Dvorsky between Gallagher and Anderson for Montreal. Gallagher couldn't find it cleanly. On it again along with Anderson. Tying it up at center is Wyatt Kaiser, number 44 for the Blackhawks. In a battle there with Anderson. Played by Dvorak, took a bounce. That's away from Anderson, and back to retrieve it is Artem Levchinov. Played a season at Michigan State with the Spartans. First round pick, former Spartans before him, Joe Murphy and Craig Simpson. Ahead for Connor Murphy in his 12th season, dumps it in. Back to the line for him, the shot to the goal, good save with the left pad down by Montembeault. Carried to center by Joel Armia. You could see the skill there through the legs for Demidov. Demidov has it. Demidov circles it front, scores!
This place just exploded. It started with Montembeault. What a save down there. A dangerous opportunity, but here come the Montreal Canadiens. And look at the lateral mobility here at Demidov. A little shake and bake. And that play to Newhook. He processes the offensive zone. That move right there, the width, that stance, might remind you of McKinnon.
That's the 19-year-old against the 32-year-old defenseman, Connor Murphy. Sets up Newhook for his 15th of the season, and it's 1-0 Montreal. And wait till you hear the crowd on the Demidov assist. Great expectations. I don't know if they expected this quickly. Gooley sent it in back of the net. Caulfield goes back to the line for Gooley, and that goes off the glass. Oliver Moore, the 19th overall pick 2 years ago, across center, gets checked. Backhanded by Ryan Green in deep, and the Blackhawks will get a change.
I mean, what a welcome to Montreal. And it's been a buzz all day outside the building. The anticipation of him even arriving here with the Montreal Canadiens when he joined them earlier in the week. And these fans waited all day to see him in a Montreal Canadiens uniform. In his second shift, he picks up that assist.
Here's Caulfield and a save. Soderblom. Rebound Suzuki. Gooley gets checked. Hawks have numbers. 4 of them are up. Levchinov in, passed across. That went just off the stick of McCabe, who was wide open but couldn't tip it past Montembeault. There's Levchinov. The second overall pick, 3 in front of Demidov. And it's picked off here by Slavkovsky, and he'll dump one back into Chicago territory. Out to center for Ryan Donato and back into his own zone. Here's Bedard. That went off a skate for Tuzi. That gets blocked. Approaching 8 minutes gone here in the opening period on the wing. The intended feed for Laine. Knocked down by Murphy. Lead pass in for a spinning Moore. Back to the line here for Murphy again. Dropped it off. Comes up high for Teravainen. Evans is on him. Back of the net for Matheson. For Laine. Just got it back. Comes back for Laine one more time. Soderblom knocked that aside. On it is Kapanen with a good move to the line for Struble. That gets blocked. And away with it came Frank Nazar. Drops one off, then gets fanned on by Teravainen. And the Canadiens, Evans, will get across center, and Montreal will complete a change. Rinzel for Chicago put it in back of the net. Armia getting the second assist on the Newhook goal. Demidov the primary. 6 minutes in. 1-0 Montreal. They need 2 points in any fashion to clinch with Columbus hot on their heels. Puck gets knocked down into the slot. Turning with it is Joe Veleno, the Montreal native. That gets knocked down. That went off a skate of Struble in front. Came back for Rinzel, the rookie. Worked it in, gets it back, and a save and off the outside of the net. Again for Veleno. Veleno with it in a good turn. Veleno going right to the goal. Circles the net. Centered one out front. Walked out of the air. Good chance there for Slaggert in front.
There's been a couple moments here for the Chicago Blackhawks. I thought early until that goal, they're starting to find their game. Montreal's got to try to keep it tight defensively.
Chicago had a 2-0 lead over the Jets Saturday, lost 5-4 in a shootout. Montreal lost 1-0 in overtime at Toronto Saturday after falling in one of their poorest games in a bit the night before in Ottawa, 5-2. The longest stretch for Montreal without a win since 5 games the end of March. Played back for the goal scorer. Newhook back to the line. Matheson's shot got knocked down, didn't get to the net. Carrier, that missed. Moving in came Matheson, tipped it in. Self-pass into the corner. Armia going after with Mikheyev. Mikheyev bumped there by Newhook. Newhook made the play. Just held in at the line of the backhand by Matheson. Back that way again. And that shot went high and over top of the net. Connor Bedard. He'll send it in. Bedard with 63 points. He had 61 winning the Calder Trophy a season ago. 21 goals, 1 shy of his mark of last season. So the numbers are better. Overall has taken some heat, but he's so young, still 19, won't turn 20 until July.
Yeah, pretty incredible. And, you know, he's really matured this season. He's being more valuable and putting more emphasis on plays away from the puck, which he has to do. He's still young in his career, as you mentioned, 19.
Played back by Slafkovsky, knocked away by his number 20 counterpart Green. Comes along the near side for Foligno. Foligno will play one back. Foligno spent 5 seasons with Ottawa, 9 with Columbus. Short time with Toronto, injured, and 2 seasons with Boston. His second season with Chicago.
Yeah, he's having fun here. He's having a fun time here in Chicago. Yeah, it's a tough season all the way around, but he's enjoying the youth movement. Another new player in the lineup tonight, Green, and he's excited.
Bertuzzi across, and that's tipped off the attempt from Teravainen. Bertuzzi's shot went off a leg. Dvorak, Matheson, Gallagher ahead for Anderson, catching up Dvorak. Anderson makes the move, then he gets checked. Played in for Frank Nazar. Nazar has terrific speed. Missed most of a college season with Michigan due to injury. Slowed his development a little bit. 13th overall pick 3 years ago. 13 goals for Nazar. 23 points.
Yeah, you know what's impressive about his speed? He knows when to use it. You know, he's very smart the way he processes the game, how he puts pressure in the offensive zone, trying to forecheck, but also using it in bursts through the neutral zone. So for a young player, that's a good attribute to have.
Blackhawks will finish their season in Ottawa tomorrow night, and from here they will travel by train.
Yeah, it's such a great way to travel. Pretty simple.
I asked Kyle Davidson if they're all going to get fedoras. They aren't. They are an original 6 after all. Kicked at and knocked ahead. Matheson's got it. Fired from Pittsburgh for Jeff Petrie and Ryan Poehling. In comes Laine. Unable to get a stick on that was Evans. Back in by Matheson.
Patrick might have wanted to shoot that there. I'm not sure if he didn't feel comfortable getting on his forehand, but you know, the Montreal Canadiens don't want to get too cute in this game. Anderson earlier on a rush, you want to maybe see them simplify a little bit against the Chicago Blackhawks and not get into that overpassing game here.
Well, you know who's out. with the digits on his back of 93. Goes after it now. He's in. He scores! Oh my! Demidov!
Well, the high anticipation of this player playing for the Montreal Canadiens has come to life, and boy, what a dream scenario. All eyes are on him every second here since he walked into the building, and right there, Ivan Demidov has 2 pucks collected, his first assist and now his first goal. He's on the right side of our screen. Here he comes there, he cuts through, he reads his play perfectly. Nice tip in the middle of the ice by Armia, and there it's a fake shot, pulls it to the backhand, and this place exploded.
It absolutely did, guys. And talk about living up to the hype. His nickname from the fans is Demigod. Demidov already having an impact.
Draw one back for Struble. For Savard. Taken by Foligno.
I remember the 80s.
You do?
Yes, I do.
Here's Laine.
Vancouver Island.
And that shot just wide again. On a chance for Demidov. 92, 93 out there together. Here's Demidov into the slot, comes back to the line for Struble, and that hit a leg. Another shot. Oh, and Demidov looking for another one. Marty St. Louis had said he'll mix up the lines tonight. He's going to see how Demidov goes early on. Well, he's seeing how he goes early on. And line A2 for that matter.
Yeah, Patrick Laine on a different line, a little depth line.
Oh, and a big hit penalty coming up here. And it's Goulet.
Keep an eye on Rinzel. He's going to run it here from the top, the young man.
He's just his 8th game. That's number 6. He's got it now, and the shot got blocked and cleared.
Yeah, they traded Seth Jones. Rinzel stepped in. He's a smooth skating guy, heads-up player. And here he comes with the puck.
3 years ago, 25th overall. Hasn't scored a goal in the NHL. Has 3 assists in 7 games, does Rinzel. Frank Nazar moved it. Bedard's got it. Back here to Nazar. Up top is Rinzel. Bedard. Slot. And that's blocked. Nazar with the attempt. And a lift of the stick there on Anderson. As Nazar went down, Rinzel, look at the patience he showed. Right there for Bedard. Pulls it back, fires one, and that goes high. Nazar's got it. For Rinzel again. Work it in down low, and right in front of the net for Nazar. Couldn't get it. That went off Josh Anderson's stick. Controlling though. Bedard. Back for Rinzel. Shot to the net. Save made. On the rebound. Nazar couldn't find it. Teravainen had to go off a body and out at center. Canadians change up their penalty-killing unit. Bedard able to find Frank Nazar. Great feed across. They score. What a feed. Perfect for Tyler Bertuzzi. Top shelf. Alex Newhook opened the scoring with his 15th of the season. Kirby Dach's injury really elevated Newhook's game.
Yeah, he came in as a centerman, and it took him some time. But now, as he's settled in there, that's been a big piece here for the Montreal Canadiens push.
Save made off attempt from Mikheyev. Brought back in by Caulfield for Suzuki. Back for Caulfield. Centering one, Slafkovsky. Oh, what a chance up the other side. Suzuki that close to his 30th of the season. Another shot. Slafkovsky that gets knocked down. On it again for their captain, Suzuki. Back to the point for Carrier. Gloved by Soderblom. The last Montreal Canadiens to 90 points. Pierre Turgeon and Vinny Damphousse. Line in attempt. Matheson back in. Murphy took his man out. Newhook on it. Puck came free here for Laine again. 20 goals, 15 on the power play for him. Bouncing puck played to the corner. And that'll do it. The siren goes to end one here at the Bell Center.
Well, didn't disappoint. You know, Demidov was the talk coming in. Boy, he's had a first period to remember for the rest of his life. And the Montreal Canadiens fans were abuzz. This player is a step ahead. It looks like he's having a pretty good time down there. And he's found a home here in Montreal already.
It had been an up and down season for the Canadiens. Early November, 4-9-2, and since Four Nations, 14-5-5. December 1st, they were last in the Eastern Conference, and now need 2 points to clinch. A win and they're in, or 1 point in their tonight, and in their final game in any fashion, 2 points.
Yeah, they need to get to 90. Yeah, and you know the Columbus Blue Jackets are chasing them. They're staying alive, and the Montreal Canadiens feel that they want to get this win tonight.
Their final game is against Carolina. Behind the net taken there by Lane Hutson, who leads rookie defense points by 51. Yes, by 51 points. He leads rookie defenders in scoring, and he's 6th overall in D points is Lane Hutson.
Well, what a spark he's been to this organization as well. You know, you talk about Montembeault and his role in this team, and of course, goaltending solidifies everything. It's no coincidence, and how Marty St. Louis has put him in the right situation. It's been remarkable.
Shot deflected and off to the corner. He made his National Hockey League debut at the end of last season, which he said helped him for this season, and it came against Patrick Kane, and after the game got a signed stick from his hero. Lane Hutson, born in Michigan, then moved to Chicago when he was 2, so grew up watching Kane. Back in for Slavkovsky. High slot Matheson, stick lifted by his number 8 counterpart, and a good play by Ryan Donato coming back. Bedard with the move, but in ahead of the play was Mikheyev offside, so the Canadiens Carrier. It's been a terrific trade acquisition from Nashville. Really settled down all the pairings on the back end. Here's Hutson with that great shake and bake that he can do. That goes off the shaft of the stick from Arvid Soderblom, the goaltender for Chicago. In behind for Levshunov, played back by Nazar, back from Bertuzzi. Now tipped back by Teravainen for Bertuzzi onto Nazar. That shot gets blocked. Dooley took him out into the slot. No visitor could get a stick on that. It comes back out to center ice. And Artem Levshunov with it. Bertuzzi goes after it. Played by Montembeault. Ahead here for Anderson. Stick lifted by Gallagher to help make the play. In for Dvorak. Dvorak centered one. That went off the skate of Wyatt Kaiser. Centering feed for Anderson. Played back Gallagher. Oh, and he was checked. Good defensive play by Wyatt Kaiser there to prevent an open net. Levshunov played it. Came free for Veleno. And Hutson tipped it out to center ice. Fans wanted a penalty there. They thought Gallagher was hooked. Vlasic waited for it to come to the line. It came out to center ice by Laine. That's a good question that took him so long to even do so.
Right.
And especially after Caden Gooley had surgery late January, he lacerated a quadricep from his own skate. He missed 21 games. And yet still some don't wear the protective socks. So why wouldn't you is a good question. Played back here by Kaiser for Bedard. High slot for Donato.
Seen a lot of those whiffs out of the Chicago Blackhawks. You know, they have moments of speed, they set up plays, and then the puck seems to just roll off the heel of their stick, something they would want to clean up here. Well, Montreal does a good job defensively. They've used their sticks really well. They're positionally sound, but there are moments like this. They just can't make that next play. And that sometimes has to do with youth, maybe just squeezing it a little too much here with being down a goal. But here comes a good veteran, Nick Foligno.
Who passed one into the slot. Looks for the return feed. Turning with it is Ryan Green. Again, number 20 in his first NHL game. Centering feed. A round 2 pick 3 years ago. A pick acquired from Minnesota from Marc-Andre Fleury. So the beginning of one career and the end of another. That just went wide off an attempt from Oliver Moore. In game number 7 of the season. Back of the net, Foligno centering one and blocked out front. Ryan Green, good opportunity for his first NHL goal.
Well, good shift out there by that Foligno line from the Chicago Blackhawks, and now Chicago trying to build some momentum.
And there's a good save by Montembeault off a Teravainen attempt. Bertuzzi, who has their goal, back for Vlasic, who gets the return feed. Little step away from Slavkovsky, whacking at him, got the puck from him. Dooley for Montreal. Checked by Tyler Bertuzzi, who has the power play goal for Chicago with 1:20 to go in the first period that made it 2-1. Demidov chasing, but this will come back.
Canadiens being hemmed in their own zone. See if the Blackhawks can take advantage.
Face off into the corner. Dooley clears it, and it does come back out to center, but a longer change here in the second period, so he can't get off yet. Hudson tied with Chris Chelios with 64 points, most by a Canadiens rookie defenseman, and tied in points as a rookie with Guy Lafleur.
Man, those are great names in the history of the National Hockey League in that position, that defensive position.
Well, he got the change and went off. There's Suzuki in the backhand wide. Mikheyev for Chicago. In by Kaiser. Carrier. Matheson up the boards. That gets kicked back in there by Lukas Reichel. Reichel with a turn. Matheson checking him. Knocks him down. Penalty upcoming. He was saying this morning, texting with Scotty, and what better source for that? 1-for-1 on the power play.
They are spectacular here. We didn't get the location of his bagel spot.
No, can't promote that. There's a shot, and maybe off a stick as Rinzel let it go, and Savard, a great penalty killer.
Boy, he's effective and understands the defensive zone in this position.
Teravainen won that draw back for Bertuzzi, and now Chicago controls as Bedard to Rinzel to Bertuzzi in the left circle. For Teravainen for Rinzel. Back here for Teuvo Teravainen. Back for Rinzel again. Shot into a crowd as it hit Nazar in front. Frank Nazar goes after it.
You can hear David Savard down there directing traffic.
Right side here, turning with it, Connor Bedard. Bertuzzi back into the slot, that gets blocked. Teravainen couldn't get a shot, a scrambling Montembeault. Bedard goes back for Rinzel. Back in front, knocked away. Savard had Bertuzzi covered. And there's a penalty coming here, delayed call to Chicago as Armia is in. Armia firing one, rebound, Armia again. Evans couldn't get a stick on that. Delayed penalty here as the Canadiens control for the moment, and now Montreal's Bertuzzi touches.
Great leader, excellent communicator. You can hear him that entire penalty kill directing traffic down there.
And a pending UFA. Took a picture prior to the game with Nick Foligno.
Yeah, two former teammates in Columbus.
Whenever someone takes a picture with another late in the season, you wonder speculation. Slot, save made. Back to the point there for Struble. Slot played back by Demidov, and a save made off Carrier. Carrier back for Demidov. Demidov turns with it. An assist and then a goal. All within 7 minutes, and a great turn right there. Back for Hudson. And that gets fanned on. Suzuki a try, Hudson a try, off the change. At the last moment, Newhook spotted that. So a power play here remaining for a minute for Montreal. And the Hawks can't clear, knocked down by Slafkovsky, who gets the puck again. Drops it back for Hudson to Slafkovsky. For Demidov. Back for Hudson. Demidov wanted it again. Played back Suzuki, that gets blocked. Demidov one more time. High slot the shot, and that'll be grabbed off an attempt from Laine.
Oh, incredible sequence here. Nice ovation from the crowd of Montreal, who've been thoroughly entertained by Demidov. And 4-on-4, Marty St. Louis puts him on the ice. A little extra space out there, creative. Little touch pass there to Carrier, who picks it up perfectly. Then he's back in the middle. Now he's down below the net here. Look at the puck protection, the wide base of his skates there, his head's up. Well, this guy's a little more dynamic.
Demidov has 2 points tonight. If he gets another, he'd be the first teenager in Canadiens history with 3.
Oh, look at you.
Oh, it's not me.
Going
Your homework.
I like that he's starting in the offensive zone here. Marty St. Louis, you know, kind of putting him in situations that he thinks are favorable for him. Going to step in here and take a face-off. Look at the crowd.
You don't miss a thing here, nor do you. Into the slot it came, and Veleno moves it. Reichel sends it in. Up there with Landon Slaggert, the rookie. So many on this Chicago team are rookies. Again, their defense is so young. When they played at Boston Thursday of last week, their defense was younger on age than the Western Michigan Broncos, who won the NCAA championship in college hockey. Think about that. Chicago's defense that night was younger than the Broncos, the eventual champs, 2 nights ago.
That's incredible. And, you know, it shows where Chicago's at. They have a lot of young prospects. Should be excitement in the fan base about the future. They only got 1 game left on their season, but why not play the young kids and let them get acclimated? How about they've been involved in the Ovechkin chase. You know, they were part of that atmosphere. And here tonight, they were excited. Management was about their team, their young team, playing in this one in Montreal.
Montembeault went down back of the net. They thought Oliver Moore had dumped him, and penalty coming. Delayed call. Montembeault to the bench. In comes Caulfield. Power play coming up for the Canadiens.
Carrier, Savard, and Montembeault were speaking French about that exact situation a little earlier.
And Demidov working his best to learn French. Broken stick, Slavkovsky and Foligno for Chicago will get it down. Hudson with it. Lane Hudson, 2 assists shy of tying Larry Murphy's record for assists in a season by a rookie defender in the NHL. Oh, what a stop by Montembeault as Mikheyev was in. Much like Demidov at that end with a similar move, but the save made by Montembeault. Slavkovsky. Slavkovsky again. Another broken stick. That's a $600 shift.
That's all right. Yeah, they got more on the bench there.
Guess so. Hudson hit. Loose in front of the goal. And off the bar. Teravainen was all alone. Back in for Demidov. Back in front. Just over the stick of Newhook. Demidov feeds off. Suzuki gets it back from Gallagher for Matheson. Suzuki again. Demidov deflected away.
He tried to go right back to Suzuki. Just hit a skate.
Matheson moves so quickly. Save made. Rebound. Gallagher through his legs. Loose in the slot. Out of the air. And he couldn't bang it in. Suzuki lifted the stick again. Newhook. And out to center it comes. 15 to go on the power play. Demidov sent it in. Suzuki played it back. Newhook's got it. For Matheson. Comes Demidov's way. Goes back the other way. Suzuki. Newhook. Knocked down out of the air. Demidov with 1 turn and another. Matheson just able to keep it in as Moore, the speedster, went after it out of the box.
Well, incredible there. Montembeault with a couple saves shorthanded, and then how about Demidov? It's just called the second unit on the power play. I don't know. I think they got 2-1s right now.
What confidence. Mikheyev, who had a great chance earlier, coming right in. Penalty upcoming.
It's back and forth.
Bertuzzi has a power play goal for Chicago. There's a shot. Scores. Nazar with a one-timer and into the back of the net.
And, you know, Montembeault for goaltenders, that pass is across the seam. It's hard. Montembeault couldn't keep up with it, and credit Nazar. He ripped that puck. And no chance for the goaltender there.
So a goal to go along with an assist, give him 25 points now on the season. 1-1 for Nazar tonight. Back here for Murphy. Award the goal. Going after it is Moore. And the power play for Chicago, as we talked about, has been good. 11th in the NHL. They may be 31st overall, but the power play's been clicking.
Yeah, when Seth Jones left, you know, there was a little bit of a problem with entries into the zone. But when you're in the face-off and get that chance, you can see the youth there. You got some poise, you have some size. And the power plays here tonight have looked good.
The speedster Anderson comes in. Taken wide to the board by Kaiser. Cleared but not out. Kept in by Hudson toward the goal. Tipped by Gallagher off to the corner. Struble with. Finds an open Hudson. Passed across, deflected. Before Dvorak could find it. Gallagher moved on it. Cleared but not out. And now Chicago to center. Levchinov. The big defenseman brings it in. Shot by Reichel. Handled by Montembeault. Under 2 to go in period 2.
Yeah, this line, the Gallagher line out there with Dvorak and Anderson, that's the line Marty St. Louis uses to regulate. Kind of get back to that low game. You see they were in there in the early part of that shift. Try to get the forecheck going to get things back in the Montreal Canadiens' favor.
Bruce in front. And a great opportunity, but Foligno unable to bury that in his hometown. Donato. Foligno again. He gets checked. Dvorak got it ahead and out the rest of the way by Struble. 70 seconds to go in period 2. Montreal at a 2-0 lead. Bertuzzi's power play goal late in the second. And then Nazar, or late in the first, and then Nazar here in the second.
And Chicago's carried a lot of play here. There was some pushes by the Montreal Canadiens, but
Donato across and a save. Montembeault. Heading to the front of the net was Kaiser. Slavkovsky stayed with it. Save made by Soderblom on a chance there by Suzuki. Rinzel. Mikheyev turns back with a half-minute to go in the period. Ilya Mikheyev put it in back of the Montreal net. Out with it came Bedard, dragged along, and then he couldn't keep it.
yeah, got caught up with the referee's skates there. He looked back. He just kept cruising past the puck, though.
Drop back, Caulfield, Slavkovsky, penalty upcoming to Chicago. Here's Hudson. The shot, and an attempt there from Demidov. Holding it along the boards, the veteran Foligno just trying to tie it up as the seconds tick off the clock, and the siren goes to end 40 minutes. And Montreal is Carolina in here. Chicago is in Ottawa tomorrow night. Montreal here continuing. Power play here to start period number 3 as Lane Hudson goes back to get it.
And their top units intact here for the Montreal Canadiens. You know, we mentioned it was the Demidov show, but right now he's on that second unit. But here comes Hudson,
who drops it back for Laine. Slavkovsky gets checked. Laine on it along with Slavkovsky. Having to backtrack was Hudson and picked up by Cole Caulfield. For Laine. Suzuki will chase. Lets it come back. It went off Caulfield and Foligno, the Chicago captain. Into the glove, and he'll force Montembeault to hang on. Won by Suzuki. Matheson.
How about Demidov there on the wall? I mean, he's using his body well. Great position to calm it down. Impressive start here to Montreal.
And he tips it ahead. Demidov plays it back. And Newhook just missed slamming that one home. Suzuki laid one back. Gallagher. Newhook. Suzuki, now Newhook again. Back for Gallagher and a return feed. Newhook. Demidov goes in down low and takes the pass. Ivan Demidov, a goal and an assist tonight. In the slot, through the skates. Yeah, Gallagher and back out to center.
You know, get him the puck. I mean, he is so smooth. He's composed.
Gallagher's hurt. Yeah. Slow to get up. Back on his skates and has the puck and moved it quickly. Shot by Demidov. Out of the box, Levchinov. Knocked away from Demidov. Donato. On for Nazar. 1-1 tonight. He had 1-1 Saturday against Winnipeg. Kept alive and then back out by Crevier. Moved ahead to center by Matheson. Crevier right back in. The big defender for Donato, and a blocker stop by Montembeault. Jake Evans for Matheson. Check by Bedard. Now Jake Evans has it. Flipped one out to center ice. That got knocked down by Murphy. On for Bedard. Knocked to the corner by Matheson. Stick check there, stayed with it. Jake Evans around. On for Laine. Laine, who missed 30 games, and this is 9th season, is 7th with 20 goals. 15 of those this year in the power play. Failing to pick that up cleanly was Kapanen, and it'll come back as an icing.
Tight games this year, and there is a patience to their game and a belief in how they do it. So I would expect Marty St. Louis has got them fired up in that intermission and got them settled in for this third period to make sure they try to get these 2 points.
And they've had exciting thirds, lead the National Hockey League with 10 third period comebacks. All even here after having a 2-0 lead. 2 power play goals by Chicago. Demidov assisted on the first goal of the game just 6 minutes into his career from Newhook, and then scored a beauty himself. Montreal had led 2-0, and Chicago with 2 with the man advantage tied it late in the first and late in the second. And here we are as it brought in by Oliver Moore, one of the many rookies in this Chicago lineup. A little bump there as Caulfield came together with Struble. Out of the pocket came Savard. Lead pass here and sent in by Demidov. Murphy around. Went off the skate of Hudson. Coming back though defensively, Newhook.
Yeah, nice job by the centerman there to cover up for his defenseman in Hudson. And here comes Armia.
On a perfect feed from Demidov. And in goes Lane Hudson after.
Got tripped up there a little bit before that hit.
Centering pass knocked down. Demidov again. Back for Hudson. Demidov protected that puck, then made the play for Hudson. Back for Demidov, the 2 rookies right there. And a loose puck as the Hawks will break in. And a lead pass, scores! And on pace for similar goal numbers to Patrick Kane, who had 22 goals at the same age, although Kane had 74 points. Bedard with 63. His second 60-point season. Nate McKinnon had 63 his first year, and 4 seasons later finally topped it with 97.
That takes some time.
Yeah.
You can tell Connor Bedard's going to have some really good pieces around him in the future. You get some of these mobile defensemen, a couple of young wingers, strong players that think the game and play the game the same way he does. I'd say look out.
Didn't get out as Bertuzzi able to keep it in, then he and Matheson collided. Rinzel sends a backhander in.
Bertuzzi wanted a call there. He's a little hot. He's on the forecheck now, down low.
It came for Suzuki. Demidov. They'll go off on a change. Teravainen able to get one back.
Let that go as Suzuki was offside, pursued the puck, but Vlasic kept it, and here comes Chicago.
Mikheyev missed that. Montembeault with 9 to go in the third. Suzuki drops it back. Return feed from Caulfield didn't get there. Kept in at the line though by Gouli. And now the Hawks, Bedard. They got numbers again. Bedard up high slot. Bedard waits and Slafkovsky coming back. So 2 top picks right there. And a perfect feed in for Donato. Makes the move. Took the shot and just went wide. Bedard back that way again for Donato into the corner more. Around for Connor Bedard. Sharp angle shot went high and wide off the glass. Came out to center ice. Holding the line there was Kaiser. And the Canadians, Gouli takes over with a pass out to center for Hudson. Hudson into the zone. Hudson goes wide with it. Sharp angle in front for Gallagher. Comes up high slot. The shot. Bodies in front. And Struble let that one go. Hudson again. Defended there up top by Foligno. That went off Gallagher. Skating away with it, Ryan Green. And back with it is Struble.
A good job by Hudson there to pressure Green. You know, he was in a bad position. He skated over, took away the passing lane, and now Montreal has that puck back. They have to hold on to pucks a little more in the offensive zone.
Here's Demidov. Hold it back. Save made by Soderblom. Reaching for it, the guy with the go-ahead goal. Reichel played one back. Backhand shot. Great opportunity from Slaggert, who helped set up Reichel for the go-ahead marker. Struble around, played by Demidov, who heads for a change. Newhook up along with Laine. Laine with it. Slaggert now for Chicago. Landon Slaggert to no one in particular, as the Canadians, Matheson able to get one in for Caulfield. On for Slafkovsky. Back pass, Suzuki, save made. Here's Matheson. Put it in back of the net for Slafkovsky. Looks for Suzuki. The captain goes back here. Point shot. Miss from Carrier, looking for a redirect in front. Lead pass for Frank Nazar. The Go Habs Go chant here at the Marcus Bell Center.
This is back and forth. Exciting hockey game here in Montreal.
Nazar shot loose in the slot. Bertuzzi with a piece of it, but not enough. One draw there by Montreal. Nazar for Chicago. From center shoots it in. Montembeault tees it up. Carrier. Anderson. He's been a real catalyst this season for this Montreal team. In comes Gallagher, defended by Levchinov. In front, knocked away. With just over 6 to go here in the third. Canadians at a 2-0 lead. Bertuzzi got Chicago going with a power play goal late in the first, tied up by Gouli. Chicago at this juncture would be happy to tie up anything along the boards and just get face-offs deep in the slot. That's tipped and back into the Hawk zone. Alex Vlasic goes back after it, the big 6'6" defenseman. Chicago with a lot of size on their back end. And a whole lot of youth.
Cole Caulfield tried to get that forecheck going. He was all alone, though, as the rest of the line was changing. And now Montreal back in here trying to get out of their own end. Just a little bit off, aren't they, with some of the plays and passes?
Slafkovsky got a piece of it and will send it in. Soderblom to play it. Soderblom stole the win for Chicago at the United Center earlier this season. He was fantastic as the Habs controlled the play. Slafkovsky looked back, knocked down. Carrier for Slafkovsky again, got the return feed from Caulfield. Suzuki in the slot. Backed up to get open. Slafkovsky one more time toward the net. That gets kicked back by Vlasic. Out to play at Montembeault. 4.5 to go.
I've seen a few of those plays from Montreal in the third period where the puck doesn't get deep. And, you know, that's in favor of the Chicago Blackhawks, who get relief from their own end and really puts a hitch in what the Montreal Canadiens are trying to do here, and that's get the next goal.
That's knocked off Laine's stick, who got bumped. Newhook. Ivan Demidov out there again with Laine. Lead pass out to center, kicked back smartly by Demidov to Newhook. His shot went wide, deflected. Gets hooked. Oh, and maybe a crowd call there. That was a late one coming. But still, a Montreal power play.
I think Connor Murphy agrees with you here as he's going to head to the box. He says it's made Rory better. He's hoping it makes his team better.
And a power play here. Chicago with 2 power play goals. Montreal on their 4th.
You know, when they faced adversity this season, they've had to dig in. And that's what they have to do right now.
Mikheyev, it's tipped. Slafkovsky goes back for Lane Hudson. Laine, 15 of his 20 on the power play. Suzuki. Back for Hudson. For Nick Suzuki. The shot blocked. Hudson. Laine. You know where he'll be setting up. Cole Caulfield. Push back. Colliding there with Suzuki. Made the play to Hudson, though. Hudson walks right in. Passed up. They score! Caulfield!
Keep an eye here on McCann for Chicago. He's going to push out Caulfield there with a beautiful pass in the middle. Hudson says, all right, McCann's out of the picture. All deception down the middle of the ice right there. And as he freezes everybody, he goes right to Cole Caulfield, and he shoves it towards the net. Slafkovsky is right on the post.
Lane Hudson, guys, his idol was Patrick Kane, Showtime, and that's exactly what he's done time and time all year. Come up with big plays like Showtime did. It does.
Played back in behind the net. Centering feed over Nazar's stick. Moving with it is Vlasic. Going after it, Matheson. On the hard around. Up the middle, Suzuki. Gathering speed. Going wide. Hit hard to the end boards. Lead pass in, McCann, drop back, Rinzel. And a diving play. Defensively there, and a good play by Carrier. Rinzel put it in back of the net again, McCann. Back for Rinzel. Went rink wide for Bedard. Watch there by Slafkovsky, in for Donato, watched by Matheson. Ryan Donato to the near side. 90 seconds to go in the third period of a 3-3 tie. Wraparound try there from McCann. Back for Bedard. Watched by Evans. McCann off and a change here for Chicago. Bedard sent one back in deep. Caulfield flipped it. Knocked out of the air with a high stick, but it'll be Chicago to tie it. 65 seconds to go in the third. Tip pass Cooley. Hudson plays it back that way. Polino at center will dump it back in for Chicago. Hudson, who grew up in Chicago, made the turn. To the other side, Evans against Polino. Polino there first, back behind for Boleno, the Montreal native. Boleno angled off the kick plate to the line, and that hit a leg and just went wide. Boleno after it again. And Chicago at center, Slager, who helped set up the go-ahead goal by Reichel. But the Canadians have come back to tie it. Boleno with a hit on Goulet. 25 seconds left in the third. You can feel the tension here at the Bell Center. Montreal needs 2 points or at least one tonight, just to help stave off the surging Blue Jackets. 5 seconds left. They're going to get 1 point. 3-3 to go, 3-on-3 for the extra point. And a playoff spot. Off the draw, comes back for Matheson. 3-3, 3-on-3. A goal by Montreal, and they're heading to the playoffs against the Washington Capitals.
There's Cole Caulfield out there for Dvorak.
Caulfield in along with Suzuki. Matheson in behind. Will backtrack to center. Bedard out with Nazar for Chicago. Kept alive at the line and then back out by Suzuki. Back for Montembeault.
You can see the speed there in Nazar. He just kind of holds in his lane, and then that jump pushed Suzuki back.
Who leaves it there for Cole Caulfield. Going wide with it. Back for Suzuki. Out there with Hudson. Takes the drop pass. Lane Hudson in. Can't find a lane to the goal though. Hudson. Great stop and turn, then lost his balance and went down. Oliver Moore with it for Chicago. Out along with Teravainen. Dropped it off for Rinzel. And you know who's on the ice? Demidov. On Rinzel. 2 rookies there. Bedard as the crowd chants Demidov. Bedard forced back for Rinzel. Sam Rinzel goes wide. Into the right dot for Nazar. Circling up top is Bedard. And backs out to neutral ice. Gathering speed comes Bedard. Watched by Newhook. In the slot for Rinzel. Couldn't get a shot away. Newhook stayed with him. Took it away. Lead pass. Oh, and Demidov was wide open, but a good play by Nazar to knock it down. Who drops it back? Bedard's got it. Leaves it there for Rinzel with room. Firing and a save by Montembeault. Slowing down. Demidov wants a change and plays it back.
They look back at Newhook. Newhook said, hey, let's hold up. So they're going to regroup here with puck possession behind their own net, are the Montreal Canadiens.
And Hudson with it. 65th point, most ever by a Canadiens rookie defenseman, passing Chris Chelios. Into space for Evans. Levshunov up top. Lead feed too far. But no icing as Montreal's Matheson there first in a collision. He went down. You know what the fans wanted? Turning. Into the zone comes Laine. Save made by Soderblom. Evans on it. And look at the rookie. Ryan Green out there for Chicago. He'll now go off in a change of his first National Hockey League game. Turning with it is Teuvo Teravainen. Watched by Suzuki. 1:40 to go here in overtime. Again, one more point. Montreal will clinch the second wild card spot in the East to face Washington. Going wide, Mikheyev has got good speed. Losing balance going down was Laine. Played back for Teravainen. Off to an open wing to Levshunov. And the former Michigan State Spartan plays one back to Teravainen. Canadiens in the midst of a change. Circling back at center now for Bedard. 65 seconds to go in overtime. And a circle back for Alex Vlasic. For Bedard. Bedard with Nazar. Goes puck Caulfield. Trying to catch up is Hudson. Caulfield gets checked and a good defensive play by Alex Vlasic.
Wow, was it ever. Good stick on puck here as Caulfield was trying to set the table.
And he then took it away. Bedard for Vlasic. From center for Bedard. 35 seconds left in overtime. Nobody with Bedard. Bedard waits off the Chicago change. Bedard in back of the net with it. Out there with Rinzel and Ryan Donato. Left in space for Donato. Watched by Suzuki. Plays back for Rinzel. Watched by Caulfield. 15 seconds to go in overtime. Circling up high and a stop and turn for Bedard. 6 seconds left. For Rinzel. Rinzel with it. Rinzel right in. Save Montembeault. We're going to a shootout. A playoff spot on the line for Montreal in the shootout. What a night at the Bell Center, and to kick it off, Cole Caulfield on Arvid Soderblom. And a save made by the Chicago netminder. Frank Nazar with a goal and an assist. Second consecutive two-point game for him. Lost the puck and stayed with it. Laine on Soderblom. And into the trapper.
They're saying there's a possible goal on the last Chicago shot. And remember, he lost the puck, and Montembeault, now they got twisted around.
Previous shot, the puck went in the net. This is a goal.
This is the goal, they're saying. They just announced this here. That is a goal.
So Laine's attempt is done. Teravainen for the win for Chicago. That one does not end up in the net. So yes, this night on the stick of the captain who's been a hero so often this season for Montreal, Nick Suzuki. And the save made, stays out, and Chicago wins it. So the Canadians will have to wait another day. They've got Carolina in here on Wednesday and Columbus still alive